how does my setup look for you? Because this is the first time I've tried this.
It looks so pretty.
Thank you. There's loads of Life is Strange things you might be able to see. I don't know. I've got some True Colors prints there.
I see it. I see it. It looks so cool.
There's a poster for Before the Storm there, and Steph is on it, but my head's in the way. And plus it's really far away, so I wish you could see that. But yeah,
it looks really cool.
I've literally spent the last week decorating this like mental. It's been so much fun. Hello and welcome back to the Redcast. I'm your host Troy, and welcome back to the show all about exploring the world of entertainment and the many forms it takes. As always, this episode is available 48 hours early for my patrons, so if you'd like to get to listen to these episodes on Saturdays rather than Mondays, then make sure to head over to www.patreon.com/RedArcherLive. Pledging as little as £1 gets you access to the episodes 2 days early. In today's episode, I'm chatting to actress and Twitch streamer Katy Bentz as we discuss her roles in the Life is Strange franchise in both Before the Storm and in Life is Strange True Colors, the upcoming title, as well as becoming a Twitch streamer in recent years and balancing that alongside her acting to make her one of the more unique creators on the platform. We talk at great length about both her acting and her Twitch streaming, so without any further ado, let's get right into the episode, and I hope you all enjoy it. So, I'll always open up by first off asking how you're doing today, so how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit tired, but I am good, and I'm excited to be here, so thank you for having me on this podcast.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm just really glad we managed to connect something. I really wanted to get someone involved with Life is Strange on the show, at least in some extent, because it's just such a fantastic game. And I saw you because I thought it was really interesting with you, the way you'd mix the acting with the Twitch streaming. I thought there'd be some really interesting things to delve into.
Yeah, I'm excited that you were interested in asking me questions about Twitch streaming. I thought that was really cool, so I was excited to be able to talk about that. So yeah.
Well, so what I'd like to start off with, the first question I want to ask you about is first off focusing on the acting side of things. So what got you into acting, some of your early roles, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I started acting when I was in high school. I just kind of turned to it as just like a way, I guess, just to get out of my shell, I guess. I just needed some kind of something to help me because I was a little bit of a shy kid. And yeah, theater kind of was just this like safe haven. Just itself, like what it was allowing me to do, and also just the people that were involved in it were really accepting people. So I felt like I had found a place. And I think that just kind of stuck with me, just being a part of the drama club. And then when I went to college, I was like, well, what do I do at college? And I was like, okay, well, I'll study theater because this is what I enjoyed doing in high school. And, I did plays and things there. And then after college, it was kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now? I was like, okay, well, I should probably go do theater or go do something with the arts. And so it was a question of, where do I go? Do I go to Los Angeles? Do I go to New York? And I figured that film would probably be a good avenue to like dive into. And so that's where I ended up going was going to LA for film. And then when I moved out here, I did just a bunch of like literally anything I could get my hands on. I just did films, commercials. I actually booked Before the Storm pretty quickly once I came out here, which was really cool. And yeah, that's kind of like how I started it all.
Oh, that's cool that you started with drama, because I wish I'd done a bit more of that at my high school, but it was such a small place. The drama club got shut down halfway through me being in high school, so I didn't get to go in it much.
Yeah. No, I mean, drama is just like it was honestly just like such a special place. Like, I don't know. It's just like such a special place. Everybody's like super accepting, and it's just like weird and wacky, and there's just like all these different types of people, and it was just really cool to be a part of in high school.
I think drama is just such a fun thing to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I could do my degree again, because I'm doing a degree in maths, which is just it's not good. Always it's stressful. If I could go back again, I'd probably do some more things in media, because it's such a fun kind of world, I think, and it especially helps with doing all this stuff. I think it's such a cool thing. So landing Before the Storm very quickly, that's the next thing. So what actually put Before the Storm on your radar? Were you a fan of Life is Strange before that point, or was it new to you?
It was all new. I mean, I had no idea that I was auditioning, or that I booked, or that I was working on Life is Strange until a month before the release of the first episode.
Wow.
Yeah, and I found out on my own. Most of the actors, I think, found out after. They were like, hello, here, so it's, there you guys go. It was released. Here you go. It's open and whatever, you can talk about it. But yeah, like I remember I got some kind of paperwork to sign, and I was like, what is this game I'm working on? I have no idea what I'm working on. I don't know what this is. and they were using like an alt name at the time and everything. And I knew, I was like, this is not what this game is, because I tried to look it up and nothing came up. I was like, what is this? And so yeah, anyways, I got the company name on a piece of paper, Deck 9, and I looked them up. And sure enough, like I found like, I think it was like Wikipedia, and it said like at the end of it, it said that they had a game coming out in 2017 called Life is Strange Before the Storm. And I was like, I think this is the game that I'm on. Like, I'm not sure, but I think. And then I asked one of my friends, I was like, hey, like, have you heard of this game series? And she was like, oh my gosh, like that's big. And I was like, is it? I don't know, you know? And yeah, no, I was back then, I was very like, yeah, not aware of anything in the video game world. Like, it's like a complete 180. It's crazy within the last 4 years, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, no, I just submitted for it, self-submitted for it online on one of the casting sites that we have out here. And it was just kind of like a right place at the right time. And yeah, it's it set me up for, you know, for the next game. It was crazy. So yeah, it was nuts. I didn't even know, I had no idea what was in store for me. And then doing Twitch afterwards. Yeah, yeah. If you asked me 3 years ago that, like, you know, yeah, what are you going to be doing in 3-4 years? And like, would you ever imagine being on Twitch? I'd be like, I don't know what that is. Back then I didn't know what Twitch was. So, yeah.
Twitch was always something that was very kind of like alien to me, because I spent like 2 years streaming on YouTube, and Twitch was not even something I even graced, because I just kind of had this idea, because I was already building up, like, I don't want to say a following, because that sounds like more big-headed than it probably should be, but I was already building up a bit of a base on there, and I thought, if I go over to Twitch, it's probably like dividing myself a bit too much, so I just kind of ignored it. But once I actually started using Twitch, it's such a fun site. It's really, really good for streaming. It's so much better. I really, really do enjoy it on there.
Yeah, I only streamed on Twitch ever. I used to make a lot of YouTube videos, and I would put them up on my old YouTube when I was younger. But yeah, and like I remember being on this thing called Blog TV. I don't know if you've ever remember Blog TV, but it's very, very old. And I remember just like going on there. It was just kind of like a live, like chatting, like site thing. But other than that, no, I mean, I never knew anything about like streaming. I didn't understand, like I never had heard of Twitch. I didn't understand what live like streaming or playthroughs, like none of that stuff. It was like all like alien to me. I had no idea what it was.
Oh, wow. You picked it up pretty quickly then from the looks of it. It's done really well. But so you hadn't actually heard of Life is Strange. You picked up the role. Did you then go and play the games once you'd found out, you know, part of
100%. Yeah, 100%. I had met somebody at the time, and they were mentioning, hey, you should come onto my channel, and you should do a playthrough of this game, because I think the first game had just come out or something, or the first episode had just come out. And I was like, yeah, sure. And at the time, I think the channel was called Ace of Ransom. I don't know if that's what it's called now. But yeah, they asked me to come on the channel and do a playthrough, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like that sounds great. I don't know what that means, but sure. And so yeah, I went on the channel, played the game. It was really cool. At that time, I had revamped my Twitter. I pulled my Twitter back up because I wasn't using it. I had no reason to. And there was just this like fan base, this big fan base, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I've never seen anything like this before. This is nuts. And all those people from the Twitter, you know, I said, okay, I'm going to be playing this game on this channel, like come hang out. And they all did. And I was like, what? Like all these people from Twitter just came over to watch me play this. And a bunch of them were like, oh, make a Twitch account. Like you should stream. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And so I decided, okay, fine, I'll make a Twitch account. And I started streaming, I think, from my laptop or my phone or something in my kitchen. And it was just like literally just me. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. Hi. Like it was just, that was it. That's how it started. It was just a matter of just getting up there and doing it. And that's why I tell a lot of people, like, you know, a lot of people are and I mean, I think it's different too for how you start. And I realized that I started in a very unique way because I had, you know, this small, you know, group of people who were ready to watch me from the fandom. But I always say, you know, just do it. Just jump in there. Like it doesn't have to be perfect in the beginning. It took me, you know, 3.5 years to, you know, get it to what it looks like now. And so sometimes it's not an immediate thing. Like it takes time, but just, you know, do it. Just start it.
Yeah. I mean, this setup I've got now, I mean, I've been doing YouTube since 2014. And I've only been streaming for about 3 years or so. Like, I could go into details about how makeshift my setup's been until, like, this episode. Now, like, I had my camera propped up on CDs. Like it was just like you can start off in such like a makeshift thing, and it does take time to build things up. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite. I don't know about appreciate being the right word, but you gotta build it up, and it does take time.
I mean, it takes time. It takes a lot of money. Like people don't have that money, Like this lamp I have back here, it's like a stand-up lamp from IKEA. I used to have them on my desk for my face lighting.
Yeah.
I used to have those big lamps, literally one on either side for my face lighting because I didn't have a ring light. Like, yeah, you just kind of make it work.
Yeah, you improvise. Well, since you've played the games, we've got to spend a bit of time because I want to know decision and logic behind final choice of the first season. Chloe or Arcadia Bay? Which did you pick?
I chose Arcadia Bay, and a lot of people will drag me. I know your eyes got all big. Everybody just drags me for it. You'd be surprised though. There's a lot of people who are hidden in the depths that they don't talk about it because they're scared. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, don't be scared because they'll pick Arcadia Bay,
isn't it? Or somewhat close. I don't know whether it is now, but
it is. But the people who save Chloe are the louder ones.
Yeah.
Like, and they kind of the other ones kind of just like cower away because they're scared. Everyone's gonna bite their heads off. But no, I remember when I first played the game, people literally in the chat were yelling at me to choose Chloe. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll choose Chloe because I don't want these people to get mad at me. Because again, like I had never, this was literally the first, right when I first started streaming, I was like, I don't want to disappoint these people. Yeah. So I chose Chloe. But like if I had played, then I've replayed it since. And like I knew that I wanted to choose Arcadia Bay. Not because I don't like Chloe, but just because I just went from my own like point of view. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like saving, the greater good, you're saving more lives. But like that's my opinion. A lot of people will play the game being like, that's my partner, that's my companion. I can't let my companion die. And honestly, I think like, there's no true ending to these games, right? But I think that like the majority of people, even though it is a 50-50, I don't know. I feel like the majority of people will choose Chloe just because like the game makes you get attached to this relationship and attached to that character. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, and so yeah. It's not that I don't like Chloe. I love Chloe. I love their relationship and everything like that. But just at the end of the day, like, Katie, like, playing the game, I chose Arcadia Bay. But yes, I do get dragged for that on a daily. So.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm proud of you for being brave enough to speak about your opinions here.
Honestly, like. Asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, like I did, and that I probably wouldn't have been so like, yeah. But like now I feel like, okay, because there are a lot of people who have not recently, but like a lot of people who have also just kind of been a little bit more honest about it too. So I feel a little more comfortable being honest. But yes, definitely the ones that save Chloe are the louder ones.
And I think one of the criticisms I remember people have towards the Chloe ending as well, I think, which kind of lightens it a bit, is that people don't like the Chloe ending as much as the Arcadia Bay one. I think probably because, it's very cut and run with sacrificing Arcadia Bay, you're driving through and that's it, goodbye. But like the other one's a lot more, it's longer, it's more emotional, and it's the one that you definitely cry at. It's like, it feels to me like that's the one maybe the developers put a bit more, like they kind of thought people might go more to that one, I think. But I think the way the fans have reacted has kind of been the opposite, where everyone was like, no, we're not killing Chloe. But,
yeah, I know they love Chloe, and like, and they're, I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, definitely, like, it's gonna be the more emotional one because like you made the choice to, because again, like I loved Chloe, you made the choice to give that up and to let your friend go for so many other people, which is a huge thing. Yeah, and so of course it's gonna be more emotional when you're watching all the vignettes and everything like that because you just let your best friend go, to help all these other people. Like that's huge. And like truthfully Chloe didn't want to be saved. She wanted you to save Arcadia Bay. Like she didn't want it. So truthfully, I believe that Chloe would probably be happy that you chose Arcadia Bay for me, that I chose Arcadia Bay. Yeah. I think she was happy that I chose Arcadia Bay. Like I think she would want me to do that over again. Personally, me. I'm gonna be careful what I say.
I agree with that. It did seem, like she even went on about her mum being like, she deserves more than to be killed by a storm. It's like, I think even Chloe was kind of like, this is just the way it's got to be. So that's,
I mean, I think she's a tough cookie, and I think she like, I don't know. I think she gets it, and also she probably didn't want Chloe didn't want her mom to die. Chloe didn't want her friends to die. Chloe didn't want all these people to die just for her, But like obviously, like being saved by Max means the world. You know what I mean? Like that'll never break up, their relationship, whatever relationship it is. That'll never break it up. It'll make it just so much stronger.
It's always been a very polarizing thing, but I think, to me, I think Before the Storm, I don't know which one I prefer out of the first two, because I don't want to sound negative. I'm not as big of a fan of Life is Strange 2. I have some more issues with that game where I don't think it was quite as good as the other two. So for me, it's always been a battle between the first game and Before the Storm. But it's difficult for me to pick which one I prefer, because with the first Life is Strange, I was late to the party, much like yourself. I mean, it's weird. I was kind of like a massive fanboy almost of Telltale Games, to the point where I was like loyal enough to not want to play other choice-based games. It was so weird. I don't know where my mind was at, but it was like, I used to play all the games they're putting out. There were very few that I didn't give a go of, and then I saw Life is Strange, just kind of went, oh, it's very clear trying to do a Telltale game, and just kind of shunned it away. And it was only when I actually got the season, when it was on offer, that I gave it a proper go. I was like, no, this is really, really good. And it was right Before the Storm was coming out. Like, Before the Storm started like 2 months afterwards. So I had that excitement for Before the Storm I didn't have for the first game. So that's like a different angle for me compared between those games, because just being excited for each of those episodes was so much fun. I just loved Before the Storm. I thought it was so well done. Almost a shame that there were only 3 episodes to it. I would have liked to have seen more episodes, but because it was a prequel, I guess they didn't want to, they didn't want to do the same length as the first season, when, there was potentially a smaller story to tell. But I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was so good. And I think they did well with, giving you more information about characters you'd seen before, like Nathan and Victoria, but also adding new characters in, like yourself, like Steph, who was really, really good. I liked the whole D&D thing, and even just little touches, like you didn't have to play the game. You were choosing to be involved in it, and that was much more fun if you were actually getting involved in the result. You're like, no, I want to play this game. I want to hang out. This seems like fun. Well, sticking with decisions then, let's look at Before the Storm as well. So did you protect Rachel from the truth or tell her the truth?
I told her everything. I don't know. I'm just one of those people, like I couldn't, like if that was my own situation, my own friend, I could never keep that from her. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? No, I gotta tell you. You have to know the truth. You have to know what's going on. Like, yeah, no way, Jose. Yeah, I couldn't,
exactly.
I couldn't live with myself. Like, I'm that kind of person. Like, I would feel like, yeah, like I'm helping her by telling her this, But some other people, I'm sure, would say, well, you're helping her by not telling her. So yeah, that's the great thing about choice-based games, is it's like whatever you want to do and whatever you feel is right, in your own blood. And yeah, I told her.
I think that one has a more interesting debate than the first game, because there is a real kind of like morality thing. Is, do you tell her the truth and, be honest, because she's literally said to you, you're the only person that she can trust, or do you protect her family and, not ruin her dad for her and just protect her so that she can be happy with the family? I think that was a really interesting twist, and I liked the way they did that. And I think that's what's good about these games, is that, while you can get people fighting sometimes about, the choices don't really matter too much at the end of the day, they're all pretty similar, whatever. I think the more important thing is the fact that there is such a debate over which one's the better choice. I think that's where the real magic lies in these things. At least myself, I think it works much better that way, because you have people being able to like do this now, talk about what they think are the better decisions and stuff. I think it works much better. I love it. I really do.
I agree.
So let's talk a bit more about Steph. Going into it, because obviously you didn't know the game you were playing for, what did you know about the character when you first picked up the role?
Literally that she was 16, that she was a Dungeons and Dragons DM, Dungeon Master, that she was a lesbian, and that she was a stage manager. That was it.
That was it. Wow. So they gave you a bit of background, to be fair. I mean, sometimes they can give you absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they did. I was like, sick. No, they gave me enough to be like, okay, cool. I think I can get inside of her voice. And so yeah, no, I was happy. I was like, this is sick. I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah, I was excited about it. So
yeah, that was cool. And what was the response like? I mean, I know you talked about a little bit with the Twitch, but what was the response like for you seeing, because I think really, and I'm not just saying this because you're the one I'm talking to, but I think if you look at all the characters they introduced in Before the Storm, I think Steph is the one that not only had more screen time, but I think also stood out more. So what was the community's reaction like?
It was definitely like I don't know like why. Like it's interesting. I don't know if because like I started streaming on Twitch very quickly after that, it just created an amplified like, her liking. And I don't know if that helped it. Because, I was putting myself out there more and being like, oh, I voiced this character. And then they were looking into this character in this game more. So I don't know if that helped it, but she's just such a cool chick. She's so cool. You know what I mean? Like, she's just so down to earth. She's so sure of herself. And she's freaking plays D&D. She just kind of like, it's this like nerd aspect, I think, that a lot of people can latch onto. who do play video games, because a lot of people do like roleplay. A lot of people do like D&D in the video game world, a lot of players. And so I think that was really, really cool for people. And then she was just, yeah, like I said, she's such a sure shot character that people were like, whoa, you know, like I feel like a lot of these characters are kind of a little bit unsure of themselves, you know, because they're freaking teenagers. They're going to school. They're growing up. You know, they're having to learn a lot about themselves. And, you know, from what we see of Steph in Before the Storm, like we get this very like, you know, this very structured character who's like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it, you know. And I think that really, really connected with a lot of people. They were like, wow. And I've gotten like messages and emails and letters from over the years of people saying, you know, that character helped them process their life and help them, you know, come out to their parents or whatnot. And that was just nuts for me to hear, because I didn't know that, you know, the weight of an NPC character who, you know, had little screen time would affect people that much. And it's just, that goes to show you like how amazing these writers are, that they can write a character, you know, who isn't a main character, but can have a lasting effect on a player. Like that's insane. And so, I had no idea that this character was going to be a fan favorite. I had no idea that my involvement in it would lead me on into more great things. I had no idea. But it was really awesome just to see the fan reaction. And I just rolled with it. I just was like, you know what, I'm going with this. Like, this is where I'm going. Let's go. Yeah, so I've just been, you know, going off of streaming, and grateful for Life is Strange because it got me started streaming. It gave me a community in the beginning, and it's just grown from there. So yeah.
Oh, it's fab. I didn't even the email thing. That's fantastic. Getting people, you know, contacting you to say how much Steph means to you. That's brilliant.
All the time. It literally warms my heart. And like I don't always, just because I'm busy and like I can't respond back to everybody. So I don't always respond back to everybody. I don't always message people back. But when I can, I do try to. But I read everything. And sometimes I like will screenshot things and put them in like a little folder for myself because it's so kind. Yeah, like things that really like mean a lot to me. I mean, I've gotten so many really, really like heartfelt stories, and I don't know, I just like don't want them to get lost. So I keep them for myself. And then I have like a book. I made like a book recently, that has like little plastic, little plastic sleeves. And I put like letters and I put cards and like art that people have sent me over the years. And it's just like this really nice thing that I can open up and I can like read people's letters. And it's just, I don't know, it's like really important to me just to know that like I have like been a part of something that's like helped change people's lives.
That's so cool. Keep them in a folder. I'd probably be like that, like a almost like a feel-good folder. You just open that up and be like looking through it and just be, it's so cool.
I needed something because before it was like all in like one of my drawers, and like I just wanted to be able to pull it out and like look at it at some, you know what I mean? Like have easy access to look at everything. And yeah, it's been really special.
Oh, that's so cool. I really do like that. That's brilliant. And I think what also helped with Steph was that she was in all 3 episodes. You know, it wasn't just a one and done character. You know, she had a part to play in all 3 of them, which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah, you got to see her. Yeah, it's really cool because she wasn't supposed to have the D&D campaign in the 3rd episode. That was not written in. Like, that wasn't planned. And so after they saw her reaction, or the fans' reaction to her from the first game, they were like, okay, we need to write another D&D campaign for the 3rd episode. Like, we have to give the fans what they want. And so I then got contacted again to play another D&D campaign for her in the 3rd episode, and I was like, heck yeah, like yes, let's go. I was stoked. So that was just so cool for me to see that a game company listened to what, like, they were like, the fans love this character, let's put her back in. Like, it was just so cool that they listened and they just looked at everything. And it just goes to show you that like it's a company that really truly cares about its fan base and wants to make sure that, you know, they give them something that they're really going to like, or something that they really are attached to and latched onto in the beginning. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I just wish you'd been able to do it no matter what your choice was in episode 2, because I think it was only one direction.
So a lot of people were like, why am I not getting the D&D thing? And I was like, you have to let Mikey get smacked. Just let him get smacked. Like, yeah, let him get hit. It'll be fine. You guys will play D&D later. Everyone's like, we don't want Mikey to get hit. I'm like, but do you want D&D? Like, what do you want? What
Small
do you really
price
want?
to pay for salvation.
Yeah. Mackie can handle it. And he's fine. Like, it's fine. He fell. He hit it. Like, he didn't even get hit that hard. He fell on his wrist. It was his fault. It's fine.
You didn't get hit that hard. It's fine. Just play D&D.
It was good. It was good. It was fine. Yeah.
I need to play D&D myself. I've never actually played it.
It's fun. Like, I've definitely played it. Like, I've been in a handful of campaigns since the game. Because I also wanted to try it out myself. And it's definitely fun. It's hard, but it's really fun. I like the like, it's hard for me just because I don't know, like, it's like I've never been a part of something that's just like so freeform like that before. It's really cool. Definitely too, like the fighting aspects of it are so fun. Like, it's like you have so many possibilities what you can do, and depending on what like character, like race, class you're playing, like you have it's just so fun. It's fun. And if you have a good DM, one of my best friends from high school, he has DM'd every campaign that I've played in. I believe so, yeah. Yeah, and he's just great. He's great. He's awesome, and he's so good at it. So he made it a lot of fun. My friend Chris. So yeah.
So what he's saying is I need to find a good DM as well. Then I'll have to try and get into it a bit more because I have seen bits of it.
Yeah, the DM, like, 100%, like, makes or breaks it. Like, you have to have a good DM. You have to. And, like, Chris has done D&D, gosh, since he was, like, a sophomore in high school or something crazy. Like, he's been doing it for so long, and he just knows literally everything about D&D. Everything. So, yeah, you have to find a good DM that knows everything, and then that'll make the campaign so much better. Because they know what to do. Like, they can help guide it if it's like going into a rut or something like that. Like, they can put new twists and turns in there to make it more interesting, or they can help out people, for instance, who haven't ever played D&D before. Like, they'll sit down, like Chris will sit down with you and be like, okay, well, let's look at your character sheet. Like, what kind of race, what kind of class do you want to do? Like, what kind of character do you want? And it's pretty cool. Yeah. So it helped a lot.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to look into it because that's the thing. And then it'll be when I replay the game, I'll be wanting to do it even more because now, as they've confirmed, getting a remaster for both of the first two games, which is just, I can't tell you how excited that makes me. It looks so good. Like,
I know. I'm excited too.
Those pictures, it's just, it's so good. Because I remember one of the main criticisms the first game got was the lip syncing because. From what I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but from what I've heard, the reason that the lip syncing wasn't very good is because they put all the budget into the voice acting. They wanted really good voice actors, and so other things sometimes fell by the wayside, which I think was a good choice because I think the voice performances in both games are fantastic. But, like, you know, having the idea of all of that being perfect now and just having the chance to replay it, I think it's something that is honestly a really, really nice idea, and I'm glad that they're running with it. I really wish, because I was watching it live on stream, and I really wish I kept pausing it at different points in the stream, because I was looking for stuff for Life is Strange mainly, but also for Tomb Raider and for Avengers, because I'm one of the 12 people that still play the Avengers game. Hi. But I was, like, pausing to, like, react to some of that stuff and talk about that. But my camera right now that I'm using is my phone. I'm using, like, a OBS plugin thing. So I see notifications on my phone for, like, YouTube videos and stuff. So I'm sat watching the reveal event, and we're only about 5 or 6 minutes behind, and MXM Tunes that they're talking about, you know, all the game coming out at the same time, and then it pings on my phone, Life is Strange Remastered Collection trailer, and I'm like trying to watch the stream and focus on that, and I've seen that, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like, what? That is creepy. As I've literally just said that, a poster has just come off my wall.
I saw it, yeah.
That I need to fix that. Can you give me a minute?
Yeah, I was like, you probably want to fix that, yeah.
Why? That is just uncanny.
No worries. I'm also wearing pajama pants. Oh, I was telling you, I'm also wearing pajama pants too.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Honestly, it's the way to do it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, why?
It's the only way to go.
I've outed myself now. Oh dear.
You're fine. No, I'm serious. Like, I have pajama pants on. There's polar bears on them.
I think if any streamer is wearing like a full outfit at this point while they're at home, there's no.
Yeah, I don't think any streamer actually streams with like jeans on or anything like that. Like, that would be nuts. That'd be wild.
Yeah. But yeah, so like seeing that reveal, I mean, it was so weird trying to have to respond to that reveal and also be watching the trailer. I was like, oh, I really wish I hadn't seen it, and then it came up on screen. I was like, oh my god, it was such a good moment. It was such a cool moment. I loved it so much. I think it's just good that they're giving people the chance to hop in. I think the only downside, I think, is it should release before the next game, in my opinion. I think releasing it alongside it is a shame because, you know, yeah, True Colors is a new game and you can jump into it without having played other games, but even for Steph's case, you know, people who've seen the trailer for True Colors, they're like, oh, let's give this a go. And you could play the remastered games a little bit before, and I would love it if even just like a week earlier they put it out. I think it would have been so much cooler, but just getting it overall, I think is good enough for me, because it's just...
Yeah.
I didn't expect it, because, I mean, Before the Storm's only, not even 4 years old yet. So it's relatively new, like fresh for a remaster, but not going to hear me complaining.
That was right. Yeah, exactly. No one's complaining about it. Yeah, everyone's stoked.
Yeah. Let's spend a little bit more time now with the Twitch. So you explained a little bit now about, you know, how you got a little bit into the Twitch. So once you'd started doing a couple of streams, what was it that said to you, you know, I can really, you know, take this somewhere. I can really go full frontal on this Twitch streaming angle?
Well, first of all, like I did it because like I started doing it and then I enjoyed it. And I was like, I'm going to continue doing this because I enjoy it. I really liked the aspect that I was building this community, you know, of people that like wanted to come watch me, but also like wanted to hang out with each other outside of streams. And that was really cool for me. And then it just kind of became this part-time thing where, you know, I'd start streaming alongside whatever I was doing, acting. I worked at a doggy daycare for a really long time. And then, yeah, it just started to be like, okay, well, this kind of seems like something that can be like viable. Like I can actually do this full time and it could be my full-time gig, you know, alongside doing acting stuff. And yeah, I think it was 2 years ago, I started doing this full time. I quit the doggy daycare job and just started doing it full time. But no, I mean, I love it. It's such a weird, unique job. And the fact that I can do it full time is quite insane. Like it's crazy. I turn my camera on. I'm a variety streamer. So I do literally random stuff, you know, like makeup streams, art streams, game streams, just chatting streams, whatever, you know, I'll come on here and just do whatever I want, which is really cool. And yeah, I can explore, I can be creative. And yeah, I don't know. I just even and now, like, you know, since the announcement of the new release, like, you know, the community's grown a bit more, which is great. But even before the recent announcement, like the community was growing pretty nicely, and we were getting more people coming in, and it's just like really awesome just to see that grow. I love it so much. And people in the community, people who have been here since the beginning, or people who have been here for a week now, like, you know, they're automatically like sucked in, like because everybody is so welcoming in this community. They're so freaking welcoming. And it's nuts. I don't know. I always say I don't know how I got so lucky, because they're amazing people. They're amazing people, and they're so kind. And yeah. So I do it. I mostly do it for them. Like the community is what it is. Like that's what makes it for me, is the community.
To be fair, when I first checked out your stream, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I knew you've been streaming for a while, but first off, I'm not someone who watches a lot of live streams, because I'm normally either doing them or doing other stuff. But also, like I said, I wasn't into Twitch until quite recently. I only started streaming there in October. So around the time when I emailed you, I was, you know, having a look at your streams to get a bit more of an idea of the things you're doing, because I thought I had seen that you'd done some variety stuff, but I wanted to have a look at it properly. I remember because I said hi in your chat, and the first thing you said was like, I need to reply to your email. I was like, oh my god, no, I wasn't here for that. I was just having it was so funny. Yeah. But the community is honestly, it's lovely. Like the amount of engagement you've got with everyone in the chat telling each other and interacting with the different things. I mean, you were playing, what was the first thing I checked out? Was it Tetris? I think it was the Tetris.
Maybe. I play Tetris a lot.
I'm not good at that. I tried. That was...
I love
it. I need to play that more, because I did not do
try.
well. I think the highest I got was like 7th place or something. I did all right in the end, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. But I just, like, every time I'd end up like crashing out and then just watching you and be like...
I don't know why I'm good at it. I don't understand how it works. I don't know, but it happened. I have literally no idea. But yeah, no, like you say, like, yeah, the engagement. And that's like the one thing for Twitch with me is like, I want to make sure that the viewer feels like they're not just a viewer. Like they're a person who's hanging out, and we're hanging out and we're all having a good time. Like I see so many chats and so many like different types of streamers and how they interact with their communities. And it just interests me so much, because like, I feel like I can't not talk to not like literally look at every single person and be like, hello, how are you? How are you? How are you doing? And like play back things, because, you know, people talk to me about stuff. Like I know personal things in their life because they share it. So I'm like, oh, like how is the thing going with like the car accident you just had? Or I know you just got your vaccine shot yesterday. Like I value that so much, into making sure that they feel that they're more than just a viewer in my chat. Like, they're a community member, they're part of this, like they're worth something, their life is worth something, like they're important. Like, I value that so much. And so yeah, like I always make it a huge part to, like, even if I'm playing games and stuff, like the chat's more important to me than the game is, and like there are some times where like for instance, like Outriders I'm playing right now, like I get so sucked into the gameplay, and I apologize for not reading the chat as much, but they seem to understand. But yeah, no, they're just really important to me, and so I want to make sure that they know that. So that's why I'm very engaged with them.
It's a really good way to stream, honestly, like having the community feel like they can talk to you one-on-one, because then, as you said, it's not just kind of like a conglomerate of people, it's just like every single person you can have that conversation with. And I think it speaks a lot about the way you stream and how you do it. If, as you said, you've got people coming up to you and talking to you about, like, whatever it is, whether it actually is a car accident or a COVID shot, whatever it might be, actually being able to tell you that stuff means that, right off the bat, they relate to you enough to want to tell you those to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a whole other thing, you being able to remember it and recite it back to them and be like, how are you doing with that? That's a whole other thing. But just the fact that they care enough to say that to begin with is really, it's admirable, I think is the best word, that, you've created such a fantastic atmosphere that people feel like they can do that.
Well, thank you. It makes me feel happy that people feel comfortable, not only like, because I mean, they'll say it in the chat, so it means they feel comfortable with the rest of the community, which is really cool too. Yeah. Yeah,
because there's a lot of people in the chat. I mean, how soon after starting streaming did you end up getting partnered?
9 months.
9 months. Wow.
Yeah. I got partnered on a PS4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I had the views and I was like, oh, let's try. I'll just try. And I applied 3 times. At that third time I was like, maybe my setup's not, obviously, like I didn't have really a setup, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I was streaming from PS4. So I didn't know if it was going to work. But then, that third time through, I received the partner email, and it was just like, it was so cool. It was so ecstatic. So yeah, I don't know. So a lot of people were like, oh, you have to have all these things. And, that was 3 years ago or whatever, 2.5 years ago. So I'm sure like their criteria and things have changed possibly. But yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't have all the bells and whistles. Like, they just looked at what I hope is my interaction with my community. And they were like, cool. Okay. She has the numbers. She interacts. Let's go. I'm not sure, but yeah.
As long as you got it, that's what matters, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, it worked.
No, I've seen, and I'm friends with people who do streams where there's no webcam and stuff, and they're good streams because the people that like really entertaining. But I really like the idea of having the camera, the one-on-one thing, and that's why I've set up all this stuff now. I mean, to say it would just be for the podcast would be probably pushing it a bit too much. I thought, no, it's good. I think it'll be good for the streams to try and do a bit more of the interaction rather than just the gameplay. I really honestly think that'll be a good way to run it. And that's why I put so much effort into this, because I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm literally just taking a whole week off. I was like, right, nobody talked to me. I'm spending a whole week. I'm getting all this done, and it'll be done. It still wasn't done today. Like, literally 5 minutes before you were texting me, I was sticking Polaroids on the doors there.
Oh,
like,
no.
I was like, I'd spent so much time with it, honestly. It was uncanny. And there's still bits to do off screen, but I'm having such a blast doing it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed the move over to Twitch. It's a shame that a lot of, like, I don't know, it's just my YouTube audience, whether it's a general kind of feeling, but a lot of YouTube people don't really care for Twitch. I think it was kind of like how I was, so you don't get you get a good transition over, and I'm grateful for the amount of people that did transition over. But it's been really fun, like kind of almost building up again and seeing it go to the place it's had, because I've had people saying to me, because I've got now, I don't know if I've quite hit it, but I'm almost on 2,000 followers, and people are saying to me that that's like been a really good kickoff, and I've been so happy with getting it started. But I really want to put some more time into it and just see where it can go. Especially while we're still at the tail end of the pandemic, you got all the time at home. I mean, literally in the UK, shops have opened today. Now it's the first day that some places have opened. I'm not going to go out too much just yet. I think I'm going to wait a bit and let the dust settle, because, well, without getting too much into it, the last time the UK opened up shops, it didn't last very long because it ended up going off the rails. So I'm thinking I'll just sit back for a bit and see where it goes. Yeah,
exactly.
But it gives you more time to do stuff like this, I think, and it's good. I've really been enjoying this side of it, and I think it's been good fun. But I think it's so good, and to have done it in such a short span of time because of Life is Strange and everything else, I think it's such a fantastic turnaround for you, and it's really cool to see, because it's a really, really good stream. I've really enjoyed hanging out there, and I will try and hang out more, but
I know. I always tell people, because everybody gets so like, they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't been around for so long, or I haven't, whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't apologize, like, we all have different things going on. Like, I feel like I would personally want you to be out in the real world, doing IRL things, like experiencing your life and that kind of stuff. Like, that's awesome. And a lot of people, I've had people come back who haven't been in the stream for a year, and they'll come back and be like, hey, guess what? I got married. And I'm like, oh, what? That's awesome. Like, and I still remember the person, and I'm like, that's so cool. So it's just
amazing.
Like, there are some people who like literally don't pop in for a whole year, and they'll be like, this is what I did my whole, like, this is my update. And I'm like, that's so cool. Thank you for updating me,
Wow.
Like, just the fact that they like want to come in and tell me is like really cool. So yeah, I never want people to feel bad for not being able to come to streams. So yeah.
So in those few years of streaming, this might be a bit of a tough question, maybe putting a spot a bit more here, but let's talk a bit about, what have been some standout things you've done on streams, so either different games you played or certain streams for like milestones and things. Which moments stick out for you as a streamer?
Well, definitely getting partnered sticks out for sure. And I was playing, when I got partnered, like that span, like I was playing Life is Strange game, I was doing Last of Us, The Walking Dead, Uncharted. So like that whole series, like that was just really cool because a lot of people, they were doing the quote unquote partner push, and they were like, really trying to help out and everything. So like that really stood out. Yeah, that was cool. We've done a lot of charity streams, which has been really cool. I did one charity stream that was like so like legit production wise. It was so cool. I had got in contact with this guy named Jared, and he did production for basically an actual production company. And on the side, he was working with other streamers doing charities during charity streams at the production studio he worked at. And I was like, hey, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, sick. And so this was a year ago. So this was like February a year ago, not this past February, but yeah. And we did a charity for Best Friends Animal Society, which is an organization for animals. They have shelters around LA, and some in different states. But yeah, really big organization, really awesome. And I freaking love animals. And so like that whole experience was so cool because the production value of it was like insane. And I got other streamers to come on to the stream with me. It was like a whole 8-hour stream. We had like incentives for donations. It was just really cool. So that 100% stands out. And I really enjoy doing charity streams. I want to try and figure out another thing to do like that. And then we've done some other charity streams. We did one recently for Starlight Children's Foundation, which is, to help make children's stays in hospitals a better time. And so you have this company who has created these game stations, which are basically just switch consoles that are set up in the hospitals, and you can like rent them out to the kids and whatnot. So during their stay there, they can have a Switch, and they have all these games loaded on it. So we raised up enough money for our own Switch. So somewhere, and I need to contact them and see where it's at. Somewhere there's a Switch that says the Cater Talk crew on it in some hospital. Yeah, which is like insane. Yeah, so I need to contact them and just like get an update and be like, hey, is it anywhere? Can you just send me a picture of it? So that's really cool. Yeah, so definitely the charity streams. And yeah, I've been streaming for 3 years. There's been incredible amounts of stream. And no. I'm just trying to think like those two things, like getting partnered and like charity streams were pretty big. And yeah, I don't know, just played lots of games. I've done lots of things, and it's been an insane experience. And like I've enjoyed and appreciated every moment of it.
I think playing games like as part of series has been quite fun. Picking out a game and every week or whatever, like playing a different bit of it. I mean, I've been doing that at the minute with Yakuza 0, which I've been really liking. That's been good fun. You're enjoying a playthrough when it gets to the point where you're sad that you're only playing it when you're streaming. Like, I want to go into this, I want to keep playing it, but it's like, I've got to wait till I'm streaming again.
Yeah, that was me with Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was me with The Last of Us Part 2. I was just like, will they be mad if I just play a little bit off screen? And I was like, I can't do it. They'll know. They'll be like, why are you so far ahead? What happened? Weren't you there? I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah, it's good fun. I think I managed to do it for a bit with that. Where I was like, there was a mini game that had opened up, and it was like, hey, you can just work for this off stream. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just play this a bit in the background. Then we're good. But It's my own fault because I spent so much time getting distracted by all the side stories and things. If I'd have actually just focused on the main story, it'd have been done ages ago. But you get sucked up in all the different things that are happening. It's a really good game, and I'm kind of glad that I played it because it was my community that got me to try it. Well, my moderators were like huge Yakuza fans. They're like, you've got to play one of the games. And I kind of at first was like, I'm not really sure it's for me. And eventually they said it so much, I was like, right, okay, you bent my ear. Like, which one should I pick? Let me have a go of it. And I played it and was like, okay, no, I see it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never played any of those games, but I've seen people play them and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
really good fun. Would highly recommend Yakuza 0 as a jump on. It's very good fun. And there you go. And now if you stream, I will take all the credit. I'll just kick back and be like, yep.
Exactly. You'll just be like, that was me.
Recommend one to me and then I can give you credit.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I need to. Well, you said Last of Us. I need to play The Last of Us both games, but I don't own a PS4 or a PS5. I'm going to get a PS5 at some point because there's games like that and Detroit and stuff like that. I mean, Detroit's on PC now, but like, there are certain games that I just really want to have a go of that aren't on Xbox. And I'm like, no, I really want to give a go of them, but it's just... I'm waiting for the PS5 to drop down a bit, and then I'll just buy a bunch of the games, to be honest.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Right, so I'm going to be careful about the last section of this, because as we've already had a bit of a discussion about this, because there's only so far we can go. But obviously, we can't have this chat without at least talking a little bit about Life is Strange True Colors, because I think just even the whole announcement for the game, I mean, I was just really impressed that there was a reveal event. I thought it was just going to be, here's a trailer, here's a date, bye-bye. But there was a whole thing to it. It was fantastic. But one of the main standout things was that you were coming back as Steph. Now, I've got to be very careful with the questions I ask, because obviously, you're under embargo. I don't want to ask you a question that's going to put any pressure on you, of course. But I want to start off by first saying, what were you doing when you got the call to come back as Steph, and talk me through the emotions of that?
So I just got an email. I just received an email, and I woke up, and I usually check my phone. And I checked it, and I saw an email from the VP of Tech 9, and I was like, huh. And so I looked at it, and it was like, hey, how you doing? Like, just want to double check with you. Like, we've been discussing this with some of the other members, and wanted to just, like, send you an official thing saying, hey, like, would you want to come back and reprise your role as Steph? And I just, like, read that, and I was just, I literally screamed. Literally screamed, yeah. I screamed in my bed, and I was like, like I literally screamed, and just excitement, and like, something that you'd probably see out of a movie of somebody getting like amazing information. And yeah. So it was awesome. It was cool.
How long ago was that now that you got the call or email?
October of 2018.
So you've been keeping this for a while, and especially considering, no doubt, when you've been streaming, especially since the last 2 years have been full time, you get people coming in being like, I love you as Steph, and you're just sat there like, thanks, and then you're just like keeping it to yourself, like thinking, oh, if only you knew, if only. Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's so cool. What was the reaction like then? Because I was doing the stream at the same time. What was the reaction like from your chat when the trailer came on and you were sat there?
Oh my gosh, it was insane. It was crazy. Like, I always say, like, I was on complete autopilot when it happened, because I was trying to make sure that I wasn't playing DMCA music, and I like wanted to look at the chat's reaction, so I wasn't really looking at the video. I didn't even know what the heck they were going to show. I had no idea. I had literally no idea. I didn't know that they were going to show this trailer. I had no idea what was happening. So I didn't even know what I was going to be able to, I don't know. But so, yeah, I was even surprised. I was like, oh, there's Steph. There she is. Yeah. So, and then immediately I start looking at the chat to see what their reactions are. And people start just like, they're just freaking out. And it was just really cool. It was really cool. I got a lot of support and love that day. And it was just insane. It was insane. It was cool.
Yeah, I think it was such a cool moment. I think also just for a bit of connection, because I think, I'm saying a lot that where little tiny issues I have for my favorite game series of all time. But one thing that I thought was one of the things issues I had with Life is Strange 2 was there wasn't as much connective tissue. I didn't think, and I know that they wanted to do a different game with different characters, but I thought a bit more of a link would be nice. And then when there was the picture of you have played Life is Strange 2, double checking, you have.
Yes,
okay, cool. I'd be surprised if you can, but I wanted to double check. But the picture in David's trailer at the end, I mean, just David being there was one thing, but also because that was funny, just cracking that as I was streaming on YouTube at the time, and I was just like putting two and two together. I was like, that looks like the board that was in Chloe's room against his That's not, and then just piece it together. That was really fun, but also then just that one picture of Max and Chloe in his trailer. Like you, when you got the email, I literally screamed. I was like, that's connection! connection. There we go. So for me, watching the trailer, because I already had a really good vibe about it with the way it was looking and the sound, and I think Alex as a character is fascinating. I really like the look of her. But as soon as you came on, I was like, this is what I wanted. I wanted there to be some kind of connection. I wanted there to be, you know, a relation to different games, and just also that, you know, you were getting a chance to come back. I thought was fantastic, because obviously now you can build upon the character you started off with before the storm and add a lot more to it, because I mean, I can stick to the information they've officially revealed without putting you into too much pressure. They've already confirmed that Steph is going to be a lead character because she's one of Alex's romantic options. As soon as I saw that, I was like, right, she's got a big role, fantastic, this will be brilliant. Because I was hesitant, because I was like, how much is she going to be in it though? As soon as they said romantic option, I went, okay, I see now, I get it. I think it'll be good. Yeah. So when you were reprising your role, were you going out to do the recordings? Because they said they were doing all the motion capture work in house this time.
Yeah, I would fly out to Colorado, which was really freaking cool. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was cool.
So you were the walk and talk of Steph. Were you the first time round, or you just the voice?
No, I just was the voice. Yeah, but this time we did full performance, which was awesome.
Oh wow! I can't imagine how exciting that must have been. I can imagine like you on stream, like how would you like just explain? Oh, I'm gonna be going off this place for a bit, and then like, you know, bouncing, gonna go from there and back, and still be streaming at the same time. I don't know how you could keep that a secret. Like that takes some strength.
I just made up lies. I just made up lies. I just was like, I'm going somewhere, guys. Yeah, I gotta go do this, gotta go do that. Yeah, I just made up. Yeah. I'm sure some people were just like, wow, she's taking long breaks. But yeah, like, I mean, I had to. So, yeah. And I knew in the end they would all soon understand, and then they would all forgive me for all the breaks I took. But yeah, I mean, I would take like two-week breaks depending on how long I was out and stuff. And also, like, I would, if I had the gig coming up and I was leaving, because I scream a lot on my stream, I would want to save my voice. And so I would take like 3 days before, because I needed to make sure that my voice was okay.
Because how often, like, because I was saying this a bit before we started, how often do you actually stream? It's more than once a day at this point. It's like...
Yeah, no, my schedule is kind of all over the place. Like today was a weird day because I wanted to come on this podcast, and I'm playing Outriders with my friend, so I was kind of adhering to her schedule. But I usually stream in the morning and at night. So from like 11 a.m. for about like 3-4 hours, and then at 7 p.m. for about 3-4 hours. So yeah, I just started. It basically happened during the pandemic where I started doing morning and night streams, because I was like, what the heck else am I going to do? And also it was just a way for me to kind of like protect my body a little bit, because I was doing one stream a day, and I would stream for like 8 hours straight, and I would just be sitting and not doing anything.
I couldn't.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, how do I break this up? How do I do this? So it kind of like killed, a couple birds, with one stone, because I was able to, break it up and get out and stuff in the middle. But also I was able to do a stream for the EU people, which I have a lot of EU people, and then do a stream for the people who, are in the States, who may be working during the time I'd be doing a morning stream, so they can come home and hang out with me. And the EU people can hang out with me when they're awake. So it was kind of a nice little, like, yeah. It worked out. It's been working out. So,
that's a good idea. That I hadn't thought of that myself. Really, that's quite good, because I want to try and vary my times a bit more, because I felt like that was kind of falling into that situation. Because I only typically do evenings, but now I've moved things. I can, rejig it about a bit. But so were you still doing, like, so you were doing those 8-hour streams around the time when you were doing the filming? So you'd go from doing all these these streams every day for this amount of time to just disappearing for 2 weeks. That was like such a wild change of scene.
It was hard. It was hard, because it was like, obviously, like, that was the most important thing for the last 2.5 years. Out of everything, that was the most important thing. That was where my like main focus was. And like, but it was difficult, because I would get such like I would get like a good wind with Twitch, and then I would have to stop. And if anything, what it's like with content creation, like if you stop, people stop too, and they'll kind of forget about you. Not because they want to, but just because they'll start watching somebody else. Like, oh, well, my streamer's not here, I guess I'm going to go watch somebody else.
Yeah.
And then they'll end up watching them. So, yeah. So if you, it's not a consistent thing, you lose that momentum, And so that was a little difficult just with Twitch, with having to get back in that momentum and stuff. But yeah, this, during the pandemic, it's been a good amount of momentum. And and I make a new schedule every single week. So like I'll switch things up. Like for instance, like I'm not doing, the today is weird and tomorrow is going to be a little weird. I'm not doing a morning stream because I'm going to go paddle boarding because it's important to get out and do things.
Yes.
And but yeah, but then it'll go on into like Saturday, and I usually don't stream on Wednesdays, but this week I'm streaming on Wednesdays. So it's just like a different, it's nice to be able to do a weekly schedule because I can change things up.
Yeah, it's
and
cool.
They understand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Schedules are good because they keep people informed as to what's happening as well. Yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, content creation. It's probably good that you aren't on YouTube as much because I think YouTube has definitely got a lot more brutal with that. You know, if you take a bit of a gap, you're in trouble. Which is why I'm glad I only do weekly videos or like occasionally a bit more because you know I've heard of YouTubers that uploaded daily that would have millions of subscribers. They take a week off, come back and find that, you know, their videos are getting far less views. They've fallen off the algorithm. It's just it's a bit of a dog-eat-dog thing on there. It's like, you know, if you're not there, someone's going to take over and that's it. It's brutal. Like, I've had that with some of my views recently. You know, I do, because one of the things I do the most videos for is Payday 2. I don't know if you've ever played it. But, well, there you go. There's another recommendation. There you go. Then the other people can give me a nudge and be like, well done. No. No, so I'll do loads of videos for that, but I'll, like, make a video when there's an update for the game. And I noticed that, like, as time is passing, the video views were starting to decrease a bit. And I'm like, what's going on here? I'm thinking, like, you know, the algorithm is just being a bit harsh. I'm glad that on Twitch it's not quite as bad, because on YouTube it can get pretty brutal. Or then you can have the opposite end of the stick, where they added a spoon to the game on April Fool's Day, and my views suddenly catapulted when I made a video on that. Everyone just wants to know about a spoon. So, you know, there's two sides to every little factor. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think the whole organization with Twitch is a lot better, I think, for, you know, streamers coming back and people being like, hey, you know, how you doing? I think it's good. It's a lot more community based, I think, because of the way, especially with streams like yours where you've got the camera, you've got the interaction. I think it's a lot easier for people to remember you and be like, you know, where's this streamer gone? I want to know what they're doing, kind of thing. So, So I think this probably will be the last question, because I don't want to push it too far, as I've said. And feel free to say no or absolutely nothing to this response, because I know this could be reaching. But what to you is the most exciting thing about Steph returning in True Colors that you can talk about without spoiling it? You know, what stands out to you? If you can say anything, if you can't, I understand. But
I can't say anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I wanted to try and just see if there was anything, but no, it's because it's all so under embargo, but it's so exciting to see more of it. I mean, it's now, how far away have we got? We've got 5 months to it. Yeah, September 10th, so it's 5 months away now, so it's very exciting. It is very, very cool. And just even afterwards to have read up and to see Steph's getting her own DLC as well, I was like, wow, okay, they're really pushing the Steph angle here, and it's great.
I'm excited for that. I am excited for that, yes.
Yeah, well, I would be worried if you weren't, to be fair. But yeah, it's fantastic, and I'm really, really excited to see the game, and also for it to come out in one go. I think that's a nice change of pace. I think, you know, sometimes the gaps between episodes, especially with the last one, like you had 3-4 month gaps. It's kind of like, you know, you want to be absorbed in the story. My only worry as a streamer is that, you know, I want to play these as they come out, but if the game's gonna be like 10-12 hours, that's gonna be one hell of a stream. I want to play it like that to try and avoid spoilers, so that's gonna be a fun time. But honestly, I think it's gonna be a really good thing, and I'm really, really glad to see Steph back in it and to see her getting more of an involvement. You know, I think it's really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very excited too.
Yeah, I can't wait to, you know, hopefully when we can do something a bit later in time, you can talk about it a bit more about True Colors, because I imagine there's going to be a lot to dive into there. Probably going to be a hell of a lot to talk about.
No, I would be happy to come back on after the release and everything like that. We can talk more about it. Yeah,
that'd be amazing. So as a close off thing then, so are there any particular future things you can be doing for Twitch, etc., that you want to talk about? If not, jump straight into self-promotion. There's no judgment here. You share whatever you want, all socials, whatever. Of
course. Yeah, no, everybody can find me on twitch.tv/Katy Bentz. I am Katy Bentz on Twitter, Katy Bentz Official on Instagram, and those are kind of where my socials are. But yeah, we're currently playing Outriders. I don't know what I'll be playing in a couple weeks, but we have a huge list of games that we're trying to tackle. And yeah, nothing huge right now. Eventually, I'm hopefully having a indie feature film come out soon. I don't know when. It's been a long time coming, because it's all in-house and it's all very like small, couple guys doing it. So yeah, that's called The Pipes. So whenever that releases, I will let everybody know, but hopefully this year it'll come out. So
that sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then. So those are all the questions I have for you. So thank you very much, Katy. It's been an absolute blast to have you on.
Yes, thank you for having me. Yeah, I hope that this goes so well, and I can't wait for it to come out. And yeah, thanks again for asking me to be a part of it.